It's been nearly 4 years since the FX3 Graystar gullets with its gray painted chassis, and about 3 years since its younger brother FX30, which I'm filming with right now, hit the market. I want to take a look back at both of these cameras to see if they're still a worthy investment in 2025 for video creators, despite the fact that they've actually increased in price. How about a brief history of these cameras very quickly so we can get some context. So I was one of those sorry little punks that was shooting with an A7S III when the FX3 came out and absolutely just peeved us A7S III owners off. I genuinely didn't understand why people liked this mutated brother of the A7S III at first, and I was using the A7S every single day like a Raggedy Ann doll tossed into the playroom. I was absolutely on my grind using that camera for personal stuff, YouTube stuff, and my client work. But did you know they filmed the creator on FX3? And the FX3 didn't even come with modern cinema features, even though it was a part of the cinema line, like waveform, vector scope, false color, shutter angle, shuttle angles. But will you pay for that?
You sure that will you pay for it?
But time passed, I kept using what I had, people kept going hog wild for the FX3, and it started to become absolutely buck wild popular. Then eventually the FX30 was announced, and this is where I actually started to get interested in Sony's compact cinema line cameras. The FX30 was basically just a crop sensor version of the FX3, but had almost everything else the same, spec for spec. And because it was crop sensor, it was a lot more affordable. And when the FX30 dropped, I was in the market for a second camera for all the real estate stuff I was doing, a lot of long form shoots. I needed a gimbal camera, a B camera, and the FX30 was perfect for me, so I pulled the trigger. Little did I know I would enjoy shooting with the FX30 so much that I basically stopped using my A7S III, which, yeah, probably a bit of a dumb decision, but there's just something about the usability and the experience of the FX30 that captivated your boy. And my obsession with the FX30 kind of got me rethinking the concept of the FX3. Was I wrong about this craze the whole time? And maybe it really is still that good, even though it's got the Sony price tag attached. So I finally tried an FX3 like 2 weeks ago, and I'm gonna give you my thoughts on that in 2025 and beyond, but let's go over the FX30 first. Is this little APS-C cinema camera still worth it compared to all the new releases that have been coming out for this similar $2,000 price range? First of all, let me just talk about the FX30. I've done it before, but I gotta do it again. The images just look really nice. I like this sensor, even though it's not the cleanest. And it does have dual native ISOs of 800 and 2500. It's not as crazy as the FX3, obviously, but it's still really handy. I love that it does DCI 4K at 24 frames per second. I can get UHD 4K 60 and also 120, but the 120 has a pretty big crop and it's a lot noisier because of that crop, so I genuinely don't touch it. But it also never overheats. It's got USB-C live streaming, great battery life, dual card slots. It's sexy as fuck, works with the FX3 top handle, and actually shoots fantastic quality stills in a pinch. My wife is vacuuming, so. Whether you're a Sony shooter or not, Lano makes these really cool camera battery chargers and batteries that go in this case, which has a little digital screen that shows you the charge, and the case is kind of like AirPods where it will recharge your batteries or the batteries that you can buy from them as well. They also don't fall out. They're really sturdy grips. That's not gonna fall out on set. This is a Panasonic one, but they make them for tons of different brands, which I will put on screen. They even do like action camera stuff for Insta360. But these batteries have a USB-C port on them, which could be handy for a variety of things, as you can imagine. For less than the price of one main brand's battery, just a single battery, you could get this dual charger. If you wanna check these guys out, head to the link in the description. They make camera batteries for tons of different brands, not just Sony, so go check it out below. Thanks for watching and clicking, or just vibing, whatever you wanna do. All right, back to the video. But let me quit Sony simping and talk about some of the competition, like, hey, Lumix. Yeah, I'm talking about it, yeah, okay? For its price, the S5 II and S5 IIX are very hard to beat. And I know they're a different sensor size, but I'm talking about budget right now and features. These Lumix cameras are full frame. They have reliable autofocus, although the touch tracking on Lumix is nowhere near Sony right now. You can just click and tap on the FX30 and it will stay locked on whatever subject you clicked on. Lumix looks like it's hunting without arrows, but it still has a bow. Then there's the fact that you can shoot ProRes internally. You can get ProRes RAW and B-RAW externally. I think you can maybe do ProRes RAW internal as well. I don't know. They do a lot of stuff, okay? Then you also have the R6 II, which I personally haven't used, but according to my notes here, it can do 6K ProRes external, 4K 60 internal, It's 2,000 bucks as well, so if you're a Canon shooter, there you go. There's also the Z6 III, which I have reviewed on this channel, and it's an absolutely value and feature packed camera, although I personally didn't really like using it that much, but there are some pretty insane features in it, like Nikon's NRAW. It's full frame, the autofocus, meh, IBIS, meh, but a lot of people seem to like that camera, so yeah. And then Fuji has the X-H2S, which I know a lot of people use for video production and get absolutely beautiful images off that sensor. Their autofocus is better on that camera from what I hear, but still, obviously it's not gonna be up to Sony level. But what I love about the FX30 over all those cameras is the design and the reliability. I'm sure some of those cameras in that list are reliable as well and comfortable to use, but I just love that the FX30 feels like a video camera, even though it's a mirrorless hybrid disguised in a cinema body or whatever, but I don't know, it just feels dedicated to video and I love that. It's such a good camera for the price and I think will be an absolutely valuable tool moving forward as well. Now let's move on to the mutated brother, the FX3. It was pretty cool. I don't know, feels like the FX30. It's just bigger pictures. I don't know how it works. This camera really is a different story than the FX30 simply because of the large price jump. So obviously the comparison in its camera competition is gonna be totally different as well. Let's get this out of the way. Please be civil, but let's talk about the Lumix S1 II and S1 R2. I think with the R2, I wouldn't even really consider it a direct competitor with the more common overheating issues that people are experiencing with that camera. And it's definitely leaning photo first, despite the fact that it has insane video specs, and I love shooting video on that camera personally. So let's dial into just the S1 II, which is more of a direct competitor, and we've seen a lot of people posting comparisons online to the FX3. The S1 II is an absolute video machine. Good low light, good autofocus, crazy good IBIS. It's more affordable as well. Some people are having it overheat. Some other people are like, bruh, no, it never overheats. It depends on the cards you use, the things you shoot, the temperatures you're working in. So at the end of the day though, I still feel like FX3 is just gonna be more reliable. So in my mind, even though I don't own an FX3, if I was doing more like long form stuff in the hot weather, I'd probably just go FX3, I don't know. I know Lumix says open gate, but yeah. Then the other cameras that come to mind with the FX3's competition is the R5 II and the Z8. So I haven't used the R5 II, so I can't speak on that very much, but I have used the Z8 to direct and shoot a commercial last year. I think it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago. That was really, really fun. I did not like the autofocus on that camera, and it felt a little weird shooting video on it because it didn't have like a video screen, and it feels like a photo camera, even though the image was super clean and beautiful. I don't know. I don't think I would ever buy it with video production in mind first. But that's me personally. I still got amazing results out of the camera for its great sensor and its footage and everything, but I would pick the FX3 for like actual video production every day. I think it just goes to show like the FX3 and the 30 are still so reliable for video production simply because they're designed for it. Right now I've been brainstorming if I want to build out a different video production kit for clients here in the new city and state that I live in, and I'm really enticed by the thought of FX30, FX3, FX6. I just think as ABC cams, depending on the job, the 30 could be the main camera, or the 6, or the 3, and they all do different things but work together cohesively enough where they can just be seamless together. I don't know, man. I think the 3 and the 30 still have a lot of value moving forward. I would say if you really do want to invest in one, you have to make sure you don't need crazy anamorphic support with open gate on Lumix and stuff like that. I don't shoot a lot of anamorphic at all, so for me, it's not a big issue. But there's also this factor of simplicity that I've been seeing in Sony stuff where it's like, yes, I love Lumix and all the insane options they have, but it can be a bit overwhelming for me personally. I like things pretty cut and dry. That's the type of person I am. Sony is great for those like simple decisions where it's like UHD, 4K up to 120 frames per second. Just choose which one you want and shoot. It looks great in low light, looks good in bright lights. Stabilization's good enough. Autofocus is great. Like it just works. And that's the kind of gear that I like. So if you're like that, it might be a good choice for you. Start looking on the used market if you want to go for one of these cameras. And if you're looking for your first video production camera, I would highly recommend the FX30. I hope this video was helpful in any way. It's more me just kind of like thinking out loud to you guys, and I want to hear what you guys think as well about the future, where we're going. In the meantime, text me when you get home so I know you're safe, and please consider joining my YouTube memberships, Discord or Patreon memberships. You get the same perks with all of them, just your name on the videos. It keeps my lights on, and I'll greatly appreciate it. Okay, love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.